Hello, today is Monday, June 9th, 2025, and today again I'll be reading from the United Church of Christ Daily Devotional, taking a Christian scripture and text and trying to relate it to everyday life, not necessarily from a strictly Christian perspective, but just the thoughts that came to me on this, and I think this can be done with any kind of sacred scripture from any tradition, understanding what it meant for the people of the time and what it might mean for us today, or just the thoughts and things that it raises in my own mind as I read it. And the devotion for today is entitled Follow Me Already. Vicky Kemper, written by Vicky Kemper, and Vicky bases the devotion upon John chapter 21 verses 18 through 19, abridged from the Message version. Jesus said to Peter, "Feed my sheep. I'm telling you the very truth now. When you were young, you dressed yourself and went wherever you wished. But when you get old, you'll have to stretch out your hand while someone else dresses you and takes you where you don't want to go." And then he commanded, "Follow me." And Vicky writes, I can't know why Jesus dropped this unsettling non sequitur into the middle of a post-resurrection lesson about redemption and discipleship. It doesn't track at all. But I do know something about conversations that don't track, and chances are you do too. The truth is, there's never a good time to tell a dear one you're taking the car keys away because it's no longer safe for them to drive. And there's no easy way to move a beloved elder from the cherished home where they made a family to a strange place where no one knows their name. Maybe the point of Jesus' seeming tangential remark has to do with the importance of following. No matter how much we're in charge of now, the day is surely coming. For many of us anyway, and it will be all we can do to follow the guidance of those who love us. We'll need to trust that they will not lead us astray. Given that it's never too early to learn how to follow, it's ever timely to realize the freedom that following can bring. Liberated from the burdens of leadership, we can focus on loving and feeding, tending, and nurturing the precious ones entrusted to our care. There are enough books about leadership to fill an ocean, but not so many on the art of following. May we write them with our lives. And Vicky's prayer. Good shepherd and wise teacher, may I learn to follow your ways of love. A couple thoughts that came to my mind as I was reading the scripture and this devotion that Vicky wrote was, I guess part of my impression is that part of this teaching is to remember to care for those who can't any longer or for some reason can't care for themselves. That, he starts out with feed my sheep. I think Jesus always lived and taught caring for others is of the utmost importance. And I think this story may be a reminder that at some point we will need to be cared for. So all the more reason for us to care for others while we still can, while we have the capability of doing that. Because at some point in our life, for one reason or another, we will need to be cared for. And caring for others is really, truly following Jesus. Another thought that came to my mind as I was reading this, that I was also a little concerned about just following people, because you can just give up and follow the wrong person, I think, or follow the wrong belief. And you should always question and talk about it with others and compare it to other things going on in life. And I think compare it to what Jesus taught and lived. Is the person you're following living as Jesus lived, as he taught? There are an awful lot of people here today in our world who claim to be Christian, and in their lives and in the way they treat other people, especially the most vulnerable people in our midst, is not, what they're doing, their lives are not showing that they're actually following Jesus. And perhaps this is another reminder that Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." That we need to take care and be cognizant of the least among us. And there's some really abhorrent things going on in the United States right now that are anything but done in the image of Jesus in my mind. So anyways, those are some of the thoughts that came to my mind. Hopefully it's given you something to think about. Think about how you have the capability of caring for others in your midst, and knowing that at some point in your life you will need to be cared for, or if you're at a point in which you really do need to change your life and allow yourself to be cared for, that's okay too. It's okay to acknowledge changes in your life, weaknesses in your body and in your mind, and allow yourself to just be cared for and loved for whatever time you have left on this earth. And I know it's not not an easy thing at all to do, because I even know myself, even at the age I am, my body can't do the things it used to do, and my mind still thinks it can. And I think that thought process never really goes away with us. And sometimes we even just fight against the reality of what's happening within our bodies, or even our minds. In some cases, we don't even realize it ourselves. Anyway, those are my thoughts for the day. They give you something to think about and to ponder, and to continue living your life as fully as you can in this world today.